This is the pizza of your dreams, stuffed pizza. 2 layers to double the pleasure of extra filling with a crispy base. Both pizzas are perfectly raised when cooking, giving the bread an amazing soft texture. Curious? Keep watching. We're gonna start by measuring 3 cups plus 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of salt, and right away I will mix the salt into the flour so it won't contrast the yeast job. Then I will measure 1.5 cups of water minus 1 tablespoon, and then I will microwave it for 30 seconds. I will add 2 teaspoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast in a separate container. And then I will add a little bit of water just to dissolve the 2 ingredients. Then I will set it aside until needed. To the water, I am going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I start adding the water and oil mixture to the dry ingredients, creating a dough. I add a little bit at a time so the liquid will be absorbed into the flour. And as a last step, I mix in even the yeast. After I create the dough, I'll work it by hand for about 5 minutes to allow the gluten to develop. I use my mixing bowl first, and then I'll transfer everything on a working surface. I keep mixing for a total of 5 minutes. The kneading can be done with a mixer too if it's more comfortable. I decide to use my hands so I can show how the dough needs to be folded, and if you don't possess any machine, it can still be done using your hands. After 5 minutes, I am done kneading and it's time to create a ball. I just grab the sides and I push down, and then I spin the ball on the surface to flatten it. I grab the same bowl that I used before and I grease it with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. When proofing, the oil will help the dough to not stick to the walls. I cover it with a plastic film and seal all the edges so no air can dry the dough. Then I cover it with a kitchen towel and I place it in a turn-off oven with the light on for 2.5 hours. The light on gives the right temperature to proof the dough. In my fridge I had half a block of mozzarella cheese, so I am going to use it and cut it really thinly. You can use 3 cups of shredded mozzarella. In a separate container, I add 1 tablespoon of semolina flour and 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. I mix it together and then I dust my pizza peel, spreading it evenly, covering all the surface. After 2.5 hours, the pizza is nice and proofed. It doubled its volume. And now I am going to cut it in half and make 2 discs. I cut the dough in half. I set one part aside. I will use it later on. And I start working the one that I have on the cutting board. I press with my fingertips, spreading the pizza dough to create a rounded shape. On my channel, you can find my original pizza video explained in detail. I will leave the link for you at the end of this video. Cutting the pizza dough in half and not shaping it back into a ball made the shaping a bit difficult. Here I tried to give it like a round form, but unfortunately I didn't succeed very well. Anyways, even if it's not perfectly round, I did still work with what I had, and I was still able to make the stuffed pizza. After I am done shaping it, I put it on the pizza peel and I wiggle it to make sure it doesn't stick. When I choose how big the pizza should be, I always check how big my peel is so it doesn't go overboard. After I am done with one pizza dough, I start shaping the next one. After I have 2 pizza discs, I start by stuffing the first one, the one that I put on the peel. Here I use the mozzarella that I previously cut, and then I add the big pepperoni. If you don't have the big ones, you can use the small ones, that's okay too. I cover almost all the surface, leaving about 1.5 inches of the border. Then I cover it with the other disc and I pinch the edges together. And as a final step, I season even the top. I season it with the tomato sauce, the leftover mozzarella cheese, and I use, instead of the big pepperoni, I use the small ones. Then I cook it in the oven at 500 for 15 minutes. And here is my stuffed pizza. It has a crispy bottom. And now I am going to cut it and I'm going to show you the inside. This pizza is absolutely enjoyable. It's tasty, extra cheesy, with an amazing filling. Thank you so much for watching.